Well, welcome to the garage. I thought I'd do a little update video because it's been nearly 5 years since I posted any kind of track day video. Um, so yeah, just a little recap really on what's been going on. So let's see. So 2019, yeah, that was a really good day at Silverstone on a national circuit. Really enjoyed that. Car was fantastic. And then 2020. Yeah, well, things didn't really go to plan in 2020, let's just say. I did pick up a little MX-5 in the summer. That was quite good fun. And I picked up my Subaru towards the end of the year. That's been really good. It's a really nice GT, really good on long distance drives. I haven't really used it sort of as a sports car per se, because, obviously this. But yeah, it's been good. And then, so 2021 rolled around and I booked a day at Silverstone. Thought, yeah, let's go back to the national circuit. Let's pick up where we left off, see if we can improve a bit. And I bought a brand new set of tyres and the car was absolutely spot on. And then in I think the second session I did, I had a passenger with me, one of my friends, and this happened. Yeah, a little bit alarming, to say the least. Here's me with my sad face on because I just caused my first ever red flag. At that time, I think I'd been doing track days for about 15 years. So I'd had pretty good luck until that point, but it definitely ran out. It looked quite spectacular. It was a little bit unnerving, but thankfully it wasn't too bad. It actually turned out to be a cracked oil filter housing, which is quite unusual. I figured out why it happened, and it's my bad. So yeah, that wasn't so bad. Thankfully, the engine was absolutely fine, and yeah, carried on. So after that, I thought, okay, let's figure out how to drive the Subaru. Let's go to Brands Hatch in the winter when it's wet and just figure it out. So I did just that. It was a very wet day in December at Brands Hatch, and I thought, okay, now's the time. We'll give it a little bit of a prod of throttle around clearways coming onto the start-finish straight, and yeah, see what happens. And did that, back stepped out. I didn't put enough opposite lock in because it's not a Caterham. And yeah, okay, fair enough. I thought, right, clutch, brakes, we'll just slide along a little bit and no harm, no foul. Except that there is some kind of feature, let's say, of the ABS or stability control system in these cars that can effectively stop you from using the brakes when the car doesn't think there's any grip. So as hard as I was pressing the brake pedal, nothing was happening, and I was just sliding quite slowly, thankfully, into the gravel trap, unfortunately. So damaged pride, but that was the extent of it, thankfully. We live and learn. The car came out looking a little dirty, as you can see, but hey, it's a Subaru. It's what they're built for, right? So anyway, yeah, so that was a slightly sad, well, not sad necessarily, but not the best end to 2021. So 2022 comes back around, and yeah, I went to Castle Combe. Castle Combe is not necessarily my favourite place to go, but it's local and it's quite cheap, so yeah, it's quite good. So I had a good morning with the Caterham, was getting on very well with that. And then I was queuing to go out for another session when the engine temperature started getting quite high. So I sort of aborted that and came back to the paddock and had a look at everything, and for some reason, the coolant had just stopped circulating properly. Otherwise, the engine was running absolutely fine, but it just was overheating because it just wasn't circulating the coolant. And at that point, I put it down to a stuck thermostat, obviously stuck closed. And we went back home on, with the car on a low loader, unfortunately. So that was the end of that day. I investigated that afterwards, replaced the thermostat. I did test the old one. It kind of seemed okay, but, replacing the thermostat anyway and refilling the cooling system, yeah, the car was happy again after that. So I kind of, put that one to bed. And then a few months later, I was using the car on the road, and it also got very hot. I started doing the same thing again. Started overheating, not circulating coolant. It did sort of manage to clear itself, and I got home okay that time. But yeah, after that, I sort of did a compression test, and unfortunately, had slightly low compression on one cylinder, and yeah, it sort of looked like head gasket failure, and it was losing or leaking exhaust gas into the cooling system. So I was ending up with a pocket of air around the thermostat, so it wasn't opening properly, hence the overheating. Yeah, so at that point, engine came out. It was time for a rebuild. That was at the end of 2022. Engine went off to James at Grace Engine Developments. Big shout out to them. They're near me. They're only in Newbury. They do fantastic work. Really, really good work on engine builds. Extremely good attention to detail. I'll leave a link to their YouTube channel and details in the description. But yeah, so that took a little while, and then beginning of 2023, I rebuilt the car, fresh engine, and then went to Lloyd Specialist Developments, again fairly local, for a mapping session. Fundamentally, the engine was the same spec as before, but it had just been, tweaked and fettled, and I wanted to make sure that the map was absolutely spot on. So we did that. It made 155 horsepower at the hubs. Yeah, really, really healthy result that. Very pleased with that. Unfortunately, I can't directly compare that 155 horsepower at the hubs with previous dyno figures. So previously, the engine made 183 horsepower at the crank on a traditional rolling road. We can't really compare hub figures with rolling road figures, but the guys at Lloyd's reckoned it was sort of a healthy 190 plus horsepower. So yeah, very, very happy with that. Again, James did a great job with the engine build. It's really, really strong, and it definitely drives like there's a little bit more power than previously. It's very, very good. Very, very good indeed. So yeah, shortly after that, went back to Castle Combe, again, because it's cheap and local, and it's good fun. It's a challenging old track. There's not very much runoff. It doesn't necessarily give me the most confidence to push with the car, but and of course the other downside with Combe is there is absolutely no shelter. If it's raining, you get wet. If it's sunny, you get sunburnt. But it was good fun. So here is my quickest lap from that day. that's about it. It's 2024 now. Hopefully you've just watched the first startup video of the engine. If you haven't, there's a link up above. Please check that out. Bit of fun. And yeah, looking forward to getting out with the car again this year. I've got another day at Combe booked, just for a change, in June. So hopefully that will all go to plan. And the Subaru is going to be for sale very soon. It's too cramped in this garage with having two cars in it. It's too much of a pain. So yeah, it needs to go. I've hardly used it, to be honest. So hopefully someone else can enjoy it more than I've been able to. But yeah, that's about it. If you're still watching, thank you very much indeed. That's it. I will see you in the next one.